Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Marvel Snap video. So this one we have a bit of an update to the ban list in the new game mode. So yeah, they have had a few days to look at things, and we're already getting an update to the ban list. And this is honestly faster than I was expecting. I thought they would let it ride maybe like a week or so, and then they would consider some ban updates. They talked about, yeah, we're going to keep an eye on it. We aren't expecting to do anything, but we have the tools to do that if we deem necessary. And there are 5 cards being added to the ban list, so clearly they deemed it necessary. So let's see what they had to say about these cards and about the mode, and then we'll talk about kind of the outcome of this and my thoughts about it. So, hello fellow sorcerers, it's been awesome to see the community dive into Sanctum Showdown. We've learned a lot from all of you, so we're going to make a few small updates to the game today. Disabling hot and featured locations. Madripoor was featured this week, but we've updated the game mode to remove future hot locations and featured locations. Yeah, I guess this was a bug that slipped through. I wasn't a big fan of this one in the mode, showing up as much as it did, but not the most offensive of the hot locations we've seen, so it's neither here nor there. But if you were worried about that happening next week or on Sunday, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Banning Altar of Death. We decided to keep a few locations that are hard to contest, but offer other benefits. However, Altar of Death has proven to be not as fun as some of the other ones, so we have removed it. Yeah, there are a few more restrictive locations in this mode, one of them being Altar of Death, and, well, people didn't like it, it's out of here. Banning more cards. With our initial ban list... Banning more cards. While our initial ban list was pretty big, we were really trying to be conservative and avoid banning any cards that might turn out to be enjoyable in the game mode. After seeing the metagame that developed, we've decided to remove a few of the cards proving to be head and shoulders above the cut. These cards are as follows: Cannonball, Negasonic, Teenage Warhead, Makari, Rocket and Groot, and Scream. The first 4 probably make sense to everyone, as they've demonstrated themselves to be playable alongside any strategy and very impactful in determining the outcome of the game. Scream isn't as widely useful as the other cards we're banning, but the Scream deck does eat away at some of the core fun of Sanctum Showdown, which is deciding where to position your own cards. We don't mind a bit of disruption, but a top deck using it as a dominant strategy is kind of rough. It's also punishing several other fun and fair cards in the game mode, shrinking the pool of viable choices more than we'd like. Enjoy exploring a new metagame, and good luck to the journey on Sorcerer Supreme. So, thoughts on these bans. Cannonball predicted that day one, that card just shouldn't be in this mode. And the more I've played the mode, the more I think most of the decision making here is good. Makari, I think, was actually also very high up there and just contributing to huge blowout games. Negasonic, I mean, it was kind of interesting because it really pushed the whole fight for priority thing, but yeah, I don't think it made for the most exciting gameplay when you're on the other end of it. Very one-sided. Rocket and Groot was just so ridiculously strong. Being able to punish your opponent for playing into a lane once and then move and then do it again was just really, really strong for what this kind of gameplay tries to promote. And then Scream does something similar. You know, moving your opponent's cards around is already really good in this mode because changing where their allocated points are is an easy way to win the Sanctum. So getting a bunch of scaling on top of that, yeah, I can see why they might not want that to be a thing. So in general, I don't really have a problem with any of these picks. I think that it will open things up a bit more. However, I think there is one card that was sorely missed on that list, and that is Sam Wilson. I'm not going to lie, and this might be surprising to some of you. I think Sam Wilson is the most messed up card in this mode. I've lost count of the amount of times where whole games end up being decided by, hey, I drew Sam Wilson on turn 2, I played it into not the Sanctum so that hopefully on turn 3, he will be in the Sanctum, you win that 50-50 coin flip, and then you move in the shield, play another card, boom, your opponent's just not overcoming that, ever. And he's also just, you know, one of the biggest scaling 2-drops in the game. On top of that, he gets you a free point a decent amount of the time on turn 1 just by having the shield. Just by having the shield, getting a free point is pretty big. Especially because, if you don't already know this, priority in this game mode is determined by who has the most Sanctum points going into the next turn. So it doesn't matter, like a normal game of Marvel Snap, who's winning the most locations. if you have more points than your opponent, you're going to have priority. And Sam Wilson, even when he's not being played, just giving you the shield on turn 1 can be a massive benefit in terms of gaining priority, which has proved to be a very strong thing in this mode. Now, some of the things that reward you for getting priority, like Rocket and Groot and Negasonic, 2 of the best ones, those are getting the axe. So maybe that will help a little bit, but I think having this card in this mode is kind of a mistake. I think he is the best in class 2-drop. One of the only kind of weaknesses to him was the fact that Scream was around and could punish the shield a bit, which I think was decent, but with Scream getting the boot, I think it's a bit of an oversight not to give it to Sam as well. He's really the only card I think left standing that I think is just a tremendous power outlier, and I will not be surprised if this card gets the boot the next time Sanctum comes around. But I also think from the second dinner perspective, there is a much higher bar on banning Sam Wilson than any of these other cards. Even though Rocket and Groot and Scream are Series 5 cards, even Cannonball is until the drop on March 4th. I think the bar on banning a Season Pass card is just higher. It's actively being sold, and I can promise you there are people who are making the decision to buy this card for this mode because it is just that good. It really is, I think, the best card in the mode. I think there are a lot of times where this card has been more impactful than Cannonball, believe it or not. So yeah, I think Sam Wilson should go. I think it's really the only miss on this ban list. I think the rest of the choices here are fine. And most of them, if not all of them, are actually, I think, good choices that will open up some variety in the mode. Now, I do want to set expectations here a little bit, though. I don't think this mode is ever going to open up and have a crazy amount of variety, or even as much variety as you see in Ladder or Conquest. I just don't think that's going to happen. Because of the way, card design space is in Marvel Snap, and because of the specific things this mode tries to push you towards in terms of gameplay, I think we're still going to find a best deck or a best 2 or 3 decks pretty quickly, and I think they're probably going to be pretty hard to counter. I think that's just the nature of a mode like this. So if you're hoping for some Brewer's Paradise after these cards are getting the axe, I would definitely temper those expectations a bit. In terms of things that I think will find a lot more success after these changes, the main things I'm thinking of are maybe some ramp decks finally have a little bit more leg to stand on without some of these very aggressive threats in the format. Maybe you can get away with playing like a Luna Snow or an Electro or something to ramp into a bigger thing, War Machine stuff, cheat out a big Infinite. Like, there is potential there. The other thing that gets a massive boost that was already very good is Move. Regular traditional Move, Madam Web stuff, really good in this mode, actually, even when Scream was like the top deck. So with Scream being tossed out of the format, it really feels like it's going to make way for Move to find even more success when it was, in my opinion, already a very good deck. Now, there could be some other changes here that factor into how this meta is going to go. There's also an OTA today at the time of recording this. I don't know what's going on in the OTA, so I don't know how that's going to affect the mode. My plan is once all this stuff goes live, I'm going to be doing some testing on stream tonight to get a feel for how has the format changed. And then if I feel confident in the analysis after that stuff has happened, I'll try and follow up tomorrow with a updated best decks of Sanctum to give an idea of what the format is looking like after these changes and the impact of the OTA, if there is any. One thing that has been hinted at a little bit, though, is there is a possible chance that the Sam Wilson Shield is going to become a 0-cost card instead of a 1-cost card. This is not known for sure, but one of the recent team answers did suggest that they didn't like how easily it made playing Cull Obsidian, where you could just play Cull Obsidian kind of for free in a Sam Wilson deck without having to run any other 1-drops. They also mentioned some synergy with Atuma, but I think that's a little bit harder to fix, whereas with Cull Obsidian, it's very easy to fix. You just make the shield a 0-cost card, not a 1-cost card. The cost is largely irrelevant outside of, fringe things like Khazar buffing it or Marvel Boy buffing it. So if they really want to get rid of that interaction, which would have an impact on Sanctum, Cull is a really good card in Sanctum. I expect it to continue to be very good. So if they maybe want to make it a little bit more of a deck building requirement to play that card, or maybe lessen the impact of Sam Wilson in the mode a bit. I do think making the shield a 0-cost card is one way they could do it, and based on that prior dev response, seems a little likely to me. Other than that, not too sure what's happening in the OTA. We'll have to wait and see if that affects the mode in any meaningful way, but I do think these bans will have a pretty big effect on the mode. I don't expect it to be a wide open meta or anything, but definitely gives you more room to try stuff, and I think in general, this was probably a good decision. Even if I'm a little surprised at just how quickly it happened. I do think that the choices here are largely good, even if I wish Sam Wilson was included as well. So we'll have to wait and see how this all shakes out. But yeah, stay tuned. If you want to grab your Twitch drops for the mode, still going to be live streaming throughout the week. So link in the description for that. And if you haven't already heard, your Twitch drops do count towards your Sorcerer's rank. So if you want a big boost in stuff, the drops really speed along the unlocking process. Like I've already got all 3 of the new cards and the one of the pulls from the Series 4/5 slot, and I haven't spent any gold on this mode. I just used all the free tickets through the game and through the Twitch drop rewards. So definitely recommend doing that. It really boosts up your Sanctum Showdown rank. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like these bans? Do you not like these bans? I'd be really curious to hear what you think about Sam Wilson. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know in the comments, and let me know what you're thinking about Sanctum. I mean, in general, I think people are pretty happy that the rewards have been easier to get than a lot of us thought they would be. If you haven't checked it out already, I did a video yesterday talking about how to get the best value out of your gold. So I'd recommend checking that out if you are someone considering spending gold on the mode. But if you're just trying to get the new cards and maybe, you know, a Series 5, Series 4 card or 2 randomly, I think you can do that pretty easily just by playing the mode and using all your free tickets. So that's pretty great. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.